All right, I'm recording. We are on.
Okay, I'm recording too.
So, Joy, have you ever been to a Turkish prison? Do you like gladiator movies? The nice guys want to know. Need an education on how to grow your business? The nice guys are here to help. Learn about great customer service, networking, and how just being nice can help you prosper. Now, here are your hosts, Doug Sandler and Strickland Bonner.
Hey, nice guy community. Welcome back. Welcome back. I am Strickland Bonner. I'm half of the nice guys on business. I almost forgot for a minute who I was, and you'll realize why in just a minute. And Doug Sandler is the other half of the nice guys on business on the other side of the mic. How are you today, Doug?
I am doing fine. How does it feel being almost an entire country away from your loved ones back home?
Yeah, you see, now that's the thing. That's why I almost forgot my name. You see, I am actually in Las Vegas. So instead of doing the podcast like maybe 40 miles away from each other, we are about 3,000 miles away from each other because I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada, staying at the fabulous Caesar's Palace. And no, they are not a sponsor, so they will not get mentioned again. I mean, they might, but not like as an ad.
Well, you've spent enough money for them with that. How much have you lost? Or are you winning right now?
Yeah, I'm down a little bit. It's gambling. It's all good. It's fun. I've been having fun.
Are you the kind of guy that do you consider like gambling just if you don't win? Well, it's just entertainment. And if you do win, it's like I'm fucking knocking it, I'm killing it. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But when I'm winning, I don't feel like, oh my God, I'm so good at this that I could do it all the time and I can make money all the time. That's the whole thing. I totally think of it as entertainment. I only gamble as much money as I can afford to lose. And when I win, it's great. But I definitely do not get the illusion that, hey, I'm going to keep gambling because I'm so good at this. No, it doesn't work that way.
I forget who I was talking to the other day, but they happened to mention to me, now you have you might have an illegal poker tournament, but you have a poker tournament that goes on at your house?
At my house? Oh no! Every year we do one. The Rockville. It was the Washington Rockville office versus the Baltimore office for a lot of years, and we do it every year. We call it the Amber Cup because the very first year that we did it, it's just a buddy of mine, Jim. Jim. Who works right, tech guy, and. The first year that we did this, we had to have 4 people from Rockville and 4 people from the Baltimore office. And the day of the tournament, one of the guys dropped out from my team. So I grabbed this girl, Amber, who was our receptionist at the time. She'd never played poker before. And I said, look, we'll pay your buy-in because we have to have 4 on each side because it's like a tournament thing, right? I said, I will teach you how to play during lunch. We'll pay for your buy-in and come and play at night. She's like, okay, whatever.
I'm already feeling like she was hustling you already. I'm feeling that way.
Oh, no, she totally wasn't, but she did win.
She won the whole tournament?
She won the whole thing. And so from now on, that's why we named it the Amber Cup. So for the last 8 years, it's been the Amber Cup.
And you put the connection together for me because I worked with Jim this past weekend. Oh, nice. And I happened to, I don't even know, I didn't know that you knew Jim, but he was running some video equipment at a gig that I was working on Saturday. And he said, hey, you're buddies with Strickland, aren't you? And I said, yeah, I am. How do you know Strick? He says, well, I play in a poker tournament. I said, oh, I didn't know that he plays in a tournament here at home. I always thought that he does that in Vegas. So he goes, you mean he never told you like last year he won the Amber Cup or whatever it was? I'm like, well, how much did he win? And he said it was probably a few $100.
Yeah, because it's a $40 buy-in for each of us, right? And it's 8 people. And then for the first hour, you can rebuy. In other words, if you get busted out and you totally run out of chips within the first hour, you can pay $40 and buy in again. So sometimes guys will buy in 2 or 3 times. I think I won, $350, $400 last year.
For me, I don't know. I have no pull towards gambling at all. None. I mean, I will go and sit and whenever I go to Vegas with the guys, the thing I do the most is just travel around with everybody. And I go to like the gun range. I rent a motorcycle while I'm out there. I'll go to the strip club. I won't do anything I won't do any. I don't know. I don't like gambling. It's too hard to make it. I don't want to lose it.
That's good. It's a good thing. That's a really good thing.
I think at one point I was into it and then I just felt like totally out of control. The odds are so stacked against you, aren't they?
Of course they are. Look, these huge, monster, beautiful casinos out here in Las Vegas were not built on winners. Okay. I mean, come on, really.
Yeah, I'm not a big gambler, but I do enjoy when you go because I like the level of entertainment that you do get out of it, and you do come back with some great stories about when you guys go out to dinner and stuff. So it's like so you go to you'll go to a restaurant, and I don't know what's one of the fancier steakhouses that's out there. I can't even remember the name of any of the places that I've been when I was there.
Yeah, like Del Frisco's.
Yeah, Del Frisco's.
We really like. Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the guys that goes on the trip and is Chuck with you this year?
Yep.
So Chuck is one of both a common friend that Strick and I have. He's the owner of the agency that we are both represented in our weekend gig. And I remember one year they had like a 3-pound lobster, and the 3-pound lobster was going for like, I don't even know what it was, maybe $350 or something like that. And Chuck
ridiculous.
bought it.
Oh, it's totally ridiculous.
Yeah, the prices are crazy. Like you'll go out with. And normally there's a whole bunch of guys from the agency that go. So let's say there's 10 guys that go out there, and you'll end up having like a $3,000 bill. It's just,
is it that high? I don't even remember. You may be right. I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot of money. Yeah.
It's just the spending is out of control. You don't get any. Like, are you getting any sleep?
I'm sorry. What? No, and that's the problem. That's why I'm dragging. I've only been here for 2 days now, and I'm getting no sleep. I really need to get some tonight. So these 3 podcasts this week may not be that entertaining. You may hear me snooze off in the middle, but I'm working it. I'm doing like, the Red Bull or the 5-hour.
Wait a second. We have plans. I got stuff to talk about. I came up with a list of like 30 things in the next 3 days that we need to talk about.
All
you
right.
can't back out of me, motherfucker.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm just not sure how much I'm going to be able to contribute to the entertainment factor here, but I am sober. So, I drank too much last night. I don't need to drink yet tonight.
No, that's very true. So I appreciate you being sober at least the time we were tired. So
it's usually more entertaining when I'm drunk. I probably would be better off if I had a couple of beers.
So some great stuff we have coming on as a guest tonight. Just to add a little bit to the segment, Dr. Karen, who just did, I don't know what episode it was, just 199 actually, episode 199. She came on and did a whole episode on relationships, and in a matter of how many days has it been since episode 199 is aired? Maybe a week and a half as of the airing of this date.
Yeah, something like that.
In one day, or in the 3 days or whatever it's been since that episode actually aired, it's already the 10th most downloaded episode that we have.
I love it.
So I'm like, people like relationships. So of course I get on the phone or get on through email or Twitter. I can't remember. She's done a great job with promoting her episode. So I thought, okay, let's get her back on. Let's talk about relationships a little bit further. So one of the things that we're talking about today is going to be, and we'll get her on the phone in a couple of minutes, is appropriate and inappropriate relationships at work. I thought that was
okay. Then
I thought that was a good one.
Okay,
I thought that was
I'm
a good
good with
one.
that. That's all good.
Should we talk before we get into too deep into that part of the conversation? Should we mention our sponsor?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Mantra Munchies. If anybody saw or heard the 200th episode, you will know all about Mantra Munchies because they were the sponsor of that, and they are now a regular sponsor for us. And man, they're good. I mean, it's just good snacks. That's really what it's all about.
Functional food for the entire family. Superfood snacks. I mean, it couldn't be any better because it's a healthy food snack. And we like them.
Right.
It
gluten-free, dairy-free, organic and raw ingredients, and many vegan offerings as well. And apparently they are packed with true food prebiotics and probiotics. Now, I'm told that probiotics are the good guys and prebiotics feed the good guys, although I have no idea what the heck that means.
I have no idea what any of those things actually mean, but I took some of the sweet and creamy, the biomic blends, I think they're called, and I mixed it in with a what do you call those? A smoothie. Yeah, so it was a pre-made smoothie that was 100% fruits, like it was apple and raspberry and strawberry. That's not the part that Mantra Munchies added on, but they had this sweet and creamy mix that you can mix into it. Honestly, Strick, I couldn't taste it, which was the best part of it.
Well, no, I put some into mine. I did a shake about a week or so ago where I just start with frozen strawberries, frozen blackberries, blueberries, frozen banana. I'll put a whole bunch of spinach in it and a little fruit juice and some yogurt. And I put mine in and I did taste it and it was really good. I mean, it really helped kind of sweeten it up.
I wasn't saying it in a bad way. My smoothie was already sweet to begin with, but I added some of the sweet and creamy. All it did was add to the thickness a little bit, and I knew it was something that was good for me. And it's so rare that I try to put good things into my body, but not like extra good things, not like good things that help the good things.
Right.
You know? So let's see. So they have the sweet and creamy, the Biomic blends, the sweet and creamy hot, sweet and creamy cold. They got the super sassy seasoning for soup, salads, and sauces. Classy, sassy, mild, or super sassy, spicy. a lot of spices and a lot of fun stuff going on.
My favorites are the Goji OG cookies. Goji Odi cookies. It sounds like weird. They sound kind of like foo-foo, but they're so good. The Nice Guys Richer Edition, and it's my favorite not just because it's the Nice Guys Richer Edition. I was scarfing these things down on the 200th episode. They're so tasty. It's just like a little cookie dough ball, and it's just tasty. It's a great snack and it's really healthy. And mantramunchies.com is the website. You should go and tell them the Nice Guy sent you.
Yeah, and the ordering couldn't get any easier. Just go to their website, order up a whole bunch of stuff, and I think if I remember correctly, they were free basically, weren't they?
They were free for us, but I mean, customers need to pay for them. That's why they're advertisers now.
Not everybody gets them free, I guess.
Well, maybe if you have a podcast and you want to get them to sponsor you, that's fine. We needed sustenance for our 200th episode and, we're promoting them. It's all good.
Mantra Munchies, definitely great. MantraMunchies.com. If you need any more information about them, just go to our show notes, click on the link. Kendall is their CEO and chief wonderful natureness person. she's good.
Natureness person.
She is wonderful. She's on the Nice Guy community with us. She's always adding to the conversation too. If you have any questions about the products, I'm sure she would be more than happy to answer them. Just type in Kendall when you get into the niceshortcut.com and she will be able to help you. But go to mantramunchies.com and click the order button and get a whole bunch of goodness. Right,
and the links are in the show notes, of course.
All right, let's get back to the show.
Absolutely.
So, where were we heading with this? So I wanted to talk to Dr. Karen because I feel like every once in a while, that kind of uncomfortable. Well, you might not know this because you probably have a very clean, healthy, wholesome environment where you are, right?
You mean at work?
Yeah, at work.
Yeah, definitely. But I've been in plenty of very toxic work environments before. Sure.
Yeah, but I mean, the relationship thing, people sleeping with each other and doing all that stuff. That's probably not.
You mean the restaurant business?
Yeah, and
yes,
entertainment.
The restaurant and bar industry. Oh yes, been there, done that. Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So that makes for a really, really complicated work environment, doesn't it?
Sometimes, yes, it can. Mm-hmm.
So the water cooler conversation can get, and Dr. Karen is not really even, I don't even know if I've made her aware of the subject that we're going to talk about tonight.
She didn't pick it. You've picked it. Okay.
Yeah. I really want to see what she thinks because, I can remember going back to my college days as you just hit it right on the head. The bar and restaurant business, the hospitality environment is just ripe for inappropriate relationships and anything where you really have a lot of working hours, a lot of people working together, close environment, hustle. I just think that builds to an environment that sometimes is not the most healthy.
Sure.
So I don't know what you think. So, but that kind of stuff, does that go on in a normal office? And it probably still does.
It probably does some. And I think you just it depends on your office, I guess. I'm sure it does sometimes. It doesn't a lot in my office. I mean, I see a little bit of it, but it's all pretty, it's a lot of good people at my office. And so I think that they do okay when they get into these situations. I've only seen it a couple times. It may go on more often than I see because we've got about 120 people in my office. I'm sure it does, but yeah, I'm curious to see what Dr. Karen has to say about it.
Oh, Dr. Karen is probably there right now.
Yes, I am. Hi, guys.
Hi, Dr. Karen.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me on the show.
We love having you on the show. We had gotten so much response so quickly from your first appearance on episode 199 that I said to Strick, we've got to have Dr. Karen back on the show again.
I love it. People want to talk about relationships, right? I mean, it's just one of those things that we're all kind of curious about. And we know we could improve ours, so we want to hear about them.
So we have an interesting topic for you to help us kind of work through tonight. If you'll just kind of humor us in this level of conversation.
You bet.
Okay, so the conversation is inappropriate or appropriate work relationships, and how do you see through the inappropriate ones, or how do you actually recognize which ones are appropriate and which are not appropriate? So do you have a moment or two that you can even talk about that kind of relationship in the workplace?
Yeah, so I'm guessing you're talking about when people kind of cross boundaries at work and something that started as a professional relationship starts veering into something that's a little bit sticky in terms of like
literally and figuratively.
Right, well, okay. No, I mean, like, I'm assuming you're meaning someone who is committed to someone else, but then there's some professional relationship that's taking up a lot of time, and pretty soon it's getting into the gray area. Is that what you're talking about?
Any relationship that starts to get into the gray area, whether you're committed to somebody else or not, it doesn't it kind of muddy the waters when you start to develop a personal relationship with somebody that you work directly with?
Well, I mean, that's a really good point. I mean, you have to think about, of course, the hierarchy in the workplace. If you are having some sort of kind of gray area with a superior, and then your colleagues who are at your same level start noticing it, then they might think that there's some teacher's pet happening and playing favorites. And so, yeah, it could really get in the way.
Yeah. And so how do you work through that, though? If somebody's having how do you know when that gray line is crossed? I guess that's what my question is.
Yeah, well, I think once it starts getting to be where you start noticing that I think you just have to keep your professionalism in place. And if you start noticing that you're maybe palling around too much, that you're taking liberties in terms of sharing more information than is appropriate professionally, or finding yourself just, calling someone, babe or hun or something along those lines, or anything like that feels too familiar, I would think you're now starting to move into an area where you need to take caution.
Dr. Karen, I'm always calling you boo.
That's okay. We have an understanding, but it's probably not okay in the workplace.
Strick is constantly asking me to pull my pants down. I just don't think it's right.
Doug, now we were not supposed to talk about that now. Come on, Doug.
You guys have your own arrangements, and I'm not going to ask any questions about it. It's your business.
So, Dr. Karen, what happens when things go bad, though? Like, obviously, there are only two things that can happen in a relationship. You're either going to get married or you're going to break up. And if you get married, sometimes you still break up. So what happens when it falls apart?
Well, especially in the workplace, right? I mean, there could be a lot of fallout. I mean, so there could be a huge problem in that sense that, again, you're risking not only your job, you're risking your reputation, you're risking, again, your relationship with colleagues. And I mean, that's something that I would worry about, because I wouldn't want anyone to perceive that any kind of promotion I got at work was just because of favoritism, because I had this inappropriate or, again, gray area relationship with a superior.
What about lunch? How about when you just,
I ate already.
Go ahead, Strick.
Thanks. It's later in the day. I ate already, Doug. Thank you, though.
Oh, my pleasure. Strick, you want dinner? Drinks? Yeah. How about something like lunch? How about a casual? You don't realize it when somebody's, well, maybe you do. Do you know when somebody, and I'm just not even necessarily talking about opposite sex anymore. It can be same sex, obviously. And that's prevalent in the workplace as well. But when you ask somebody for lunch and you're in a professional environment, you're assuming that everything that happens between you at lunch is all on the professional matter. But sometimes lunch means lowering your guard a little bit. And I'm always afraid that the wrong message is going to, be kind of looked into.
Yeah, I mean, you're making some really good points, because, I mean, think about it. I mean, a lot of what happens in a business environment, actually, some of the deals are actually signed, on the golf course or at lunch or at happy hour. And actually, there's research that shows that business people who drink are more successful, and probably because they're going to happy hour and they're
Strickland, you're going to be very successful.
Isn't that encouraging? Aren't you glad I brought that little tidbit to the table? Yeah. Right? No, but see, the point is that we don't want to be so fearful of crossing lines that we don't enjoy just that affinity for one another, because that collegiality can also be part of what makes everyone successful. So there is a bit of a tightrope that you're walking.
Strick, have you, in all of the years that you have worked in the office environment, you've had to have felt, I mean, I do it, not all the time, but I would say I have felt a lot of levels of uncomfortableness. Wait, if that's a word. Mm-hmm. When I'm at a gig, people in my environment, in Strick's environment, because on the weekends, we're in the party world, they are all in a mood. They're all in a very personal mood because they're partying. I oftentimes will find that people it goes a little bit further than I'm sometimes comfortable with in the flirting realm. And I don't even know how to respond. You just kind of you don't walk away because you can't offend anybody that's a guest at a party, but you just kind of have to feel like, okay. And you just have to pretend you don't hear it or sometimes.
Well, it's a different level there too. Are you talking, Doug, about guests or about other people that you're working with, like let's say dancers or DJs or that kind of thing?
It could go either way. I mean, more so the guest at a party, because the guests are the ones that really do have their, they have their, a whole different mood. They're coming out to party. They think that you're coming out to party also. Sometimes I don't even know how to respond or react. And I'm just trying to create that example in an office environment where somebody says like, okay, so Dr. Karen, what do you say to someone that is, let's say, a superior that you feel is making an advance towards you, and you don't want to jeopardize your job, but you also don't want them to get the wrong feeling about what you're even thinking. How do you even say, how would you say something like that?
Yeah, that you're really being put into a very awkward position. I typically would do the whole laughing it off, kind of like what you're saying, like, I'm not really sure how to respond. And so just a big smile and a ha ha ha, or, my husband probably would find that really funny and then walk away.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I like that.
Just kind of reminding them. And if you don't have a husband, my boyfriend, and if you don't have a boyfriend, then maybe this is a good time to pretend you have a boyfriend, just so that you can just make set the boundary, but totally, with a big smile and a big giggle, because you don't want to get into trouble at work and through no fault of your own. But I mean, sexual harassment's a real thing. I mean, obviously, and I'm not real well versed in the literature on that, but I mean, it's a big problem, and also workplace bullying. So, I mean, you guys are touching on some really important areas.
I'm always concerned about people just getting the wrong idea. You're in an environment where where especially like the Friday night happy hour, everybody from the office is going out, or everybody from the office is, they're having a holiday event, and you just don't know how to. A lot of people are very socially, I don't want to say awkward, because that makes me feel like they might not know what's going on, but people sometimes don't know how to react. And it is a very interesting situation to kind of live through. If you have to live through it, it's got to be really uncomfortable.
Well, yeah, and you guys, if you're in the entertainment industry and DJs or lead singer, like I've been in a million bands, I'm a lead singer, and so that's just, you're the focal person, right? And so, and you're up there and you're singing, you've got all this energy, and it's supposed to be compelling. You're supposed to be drawing people in, and that can be. Again, to your point, there are some individuals who have a harder time figuring, wait, that's part of the show. And other people are going, she's looking right at me. She's singing this love song right to me. Right. And then at the set break, I'm going, okay, I'm trying to get a drink, and I've got these people approaching me, and I don't want to turn them off, because then they don't like the band and they're going to leave. And, so it's not easy. And social skills are important, fellas. They really are.
So could you give me a couple of good social skills that we all need to learn? Are there some social skills that are like, hey, these are definitely some basics? You got to know how to handle this in a social environment when you're dealing with people that you might feel, they might be getting the wrong idea. Yeah, I'm always concerned in an office environment whenever you have. Okay, so let me back up for a moment. Can a guy be friends with a girl?
Wow. We might have to go the Harry Met Sally route here, if you remember that.
No. So tell me what that is.
So
Strick will be the movie reference guy. Strick, do you know what that is?
When Harry Met Sally?
Strick is
no, of course.
Right
the Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal, where basically they I apologize because I know it was a really big movie. I hated it.
Did you hate it?
I hated it because you know what? I hated them. They were so annoying. I know it was supposed to be like this wonderful relationship that went back and forth, and they were friends, and then they kind of ended up getting together, but it was like the two of them were so goddamn annoying. I could never get the warm and fuzzy for the movie. So I only watched it once, and I was like, oh, this just sucked. Right, this wasn't as good as I thought it would be. But yeah, I mean, it was, I'm trying to remember how it ended now. Even they ended up together, right? At the end of the movie?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Dr. Karen was starting to tell a really good thing about you got to do the Harry Met Sally thing. So what's the Harry Met Sally thing?
No, I'm just laughing because I'm like usually the worst for movie references, but I do happen to know that one. But the Harry, Billy Crystal's character Harry just says that ultimately men and women can never be friends because there's always going to be some tension that one party is bringing to the relationship. Someone's going to be liking someone more than they should if it's strictly supposed to be friendship. And I think. I kind of actually stand by that. All my best friends, guy friends, have always been gay, even when they didn't know they were gay. I'm talking back in like the 80s and 90s. It's just, it's always been easier. And I have 2 older brothers. So I always had that friendship that I needed from guys through my brothers. So I never really sought out male friendships. Not that I would try to deter men from becoming my friend, but I think I had a pretty clear boundary. And even when I was talking about the social skills, really, it's hard for people who are friendly, and your whole brand is about being nice and gregarious and engaging. And so, of course, you're going to have people, I'm thinking of the social skills, unfortunately, those people who can't quite recognize that your friendliness is not an invitation.
Right.
And that's really hard. But ultimately, I do think you have to be very careful. But also, to your point, for right now we have, you can't just always even know that it's an opposite sex thing because we do have same sex. And I'm glad that folks are able to be more comfortable being out in all environments. But then I guess it does make things a little more complex where if I was always going to assume that a woman I could be friends with and there'd be no confusion, well, maybe not because she may be lesbian.
Strick has a really hard time because he doesn't know who he wants to sleep with.
Well, it's anybody's guess nowadays, Strick. It's a good time for you.
And it's funny too, because I totally disagree with the Harry Met Sally line that, men and women can never be friends. I absolutely have women that I'm friends with. Now, with some of them, is there some level of like physical attraction? And like, if I was single, maybe we would get together. Some of them, sometimes, maybe, whatever, but not all of them all the time. And, I've got friends that it's like maybe after I've gotten to know them, I've become attracted to them because I know them. Like they always say, oh yeah, you're just hanging out with me because you want to sleep with me. It's like, no, I'm actually have become attracted to you because I've gotten to know you. But it depends on the guy, it depends on the girl, it depends on the person. Every relationship is different. And by the way, Doug, when Harry Met Sally is where the Steve O'Brien line, I'll have what she's having. That's where that came from. And of course, you don't know the movie, so you don't know the reference. There is a scene.
No, I got it.
In the deli, the deli scene.
We've all seen the deli scene.
I
have seen the deli.
Doug, you haven't even seen goddamn E.T. Okay, so come on, don't tell me. Of course, we've seen the deli scene. All right, I'm not even going there. I take nothing for granted when it comes to movies with you. Have you seen Titanic? Did you see Titanic?
Yes, I have seen. I've seen Titanic. Dr. Karen, I'm sure, has seen Titanic also.
I have. Hey, I want to add though what Strick was saying. It's really interesting because the research shows that men who have female friendships are better partners to their significant others.
I love that.
But the same is not true for women. But the theory really looks at that probably women, we're socialized more so than men to be nurturing, to be supportive, to be confidants. And so men who have that are just, they learn to appreciate women and to interact with women. And then they bring those skills to their significant other. And so she benefits from their relationships with other women.
Dr. Karen always bringing the best final lines to that. That was your slam dunk right there. If we would have let in with that, this would have been a home run. Well, Dr. Karen, she was on episode 199. If you have not had a chance yet to check out episode 199, please go back about a week and a half or so. By the time the show airs, that's when 199 will have been. Dr. Karen, we would love to include you in future episodes as well. I'm hoping you're loving the part of the community that you've been involved with as much as we love having you here.
I absolutely have. Anytime.
Excellent. Strickland, any final words for Dr. Karen?
No, thank you so much for joining us today. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. It was a pleasure.
All right, Dr. Karen, we'll be in touch with you. Oops, I just hung up on Strickland.
I'm still here.
No, he's still here. Oh, good. Excellent. Nope, sorry, Strick. All right, Dr. Karen, we'll talk to you real soon. Thanks.
Okay, see ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Strick, you still there?
Yeah, you can't get rid of me that easy.
I don't know how anything works. Oh, and she's gone.
And of course, your recording probably stopped, right?
Oh shit! No, my recording was still going on.
Really?
I think I did it well. Were you still recording too?
Yeah, I'm all good. Yeah.
All right, excellent. Hey, we did good. Strick, but the problem is that we had like 17 subjects we wanted to cover, and we only covered like one or two before we got into that. So,
and we're already 30 minutes into our episode, which we're trying to keep them short because we respect our listeners' time.
I think that we should cut the episode right here. Okay. We'll continue on tomorrow. Do we still have time to do the 12 biggest worries that every entrepreneur has?
Oh, God, no. We want to respect our listeners' time. So no, we'll put a link in the show notes to that one and let people read the blog that you wrote about 12 years ago now.
It seems to be about 12 years ago now. All right. Well, Nice Guy community, never underestimate the power of nice. Strickland, great having you in Vegas. I am looking forward to our next episode together. Are you still going to be in Vegas when we record the next one?
I'm here all week. Try the veal.
All right, man. Hey, Nice Guy community, I think we've already done the nice thing. Steve O'Brien, go ahead and take us out of here.
For the Nice Guys on Business, I'm Steve O'Brien. Because it's such a fine line between stupid and clever.